Not dressing warmly in winter can result in catching a bad cold.
冬場に暖かい格好をしていないと、結局ひどい風邪をひく羽目になる。
Not dressing warmly in winter can result in catching a bad cold. Everybody expected that the experiment would result in failure.
誰もがその実験は失敗に終わると予想していた。
Everybody expected that the experiment would result in failure. I'm sure your efforts will result in success.
君の努力はきっと成功を収めるだろう。
I'm sure your efforts will result in success. Our efforts did not result in success.
我々の努力は成功という結果にはならなかった。
Our efforts did not result in success. Too much alcohol may result in gastric disease.
飲みすぎると胃の病気になるかもしれません。
Too much alcohol may result in gastric disease. Even the most carefully made plans frequently result in failure.
この上なく入念に準備した計画でもしばしば失敗する。
Even the most carefully made plans frequently result in failure. An insufficient encasement may result in breakage.
箱詰めが不十分だと破損につながる恐れがある。
An insufficient encasement may result in breakage. This could result in a rise in sea levels.
これは海面の上昇をもたらす可能性がある。
This could result in a rise in sea levels. I will probably know the results in 3 or 4 days.
結果がわかるのは3、4日後でしょう。
I will probably know the results in 3 or 4 days. Sufficient repetition results in automaticity.
十分な反復は自動性という結果になる。
Sufficient repetition results in automaticity. It has resulted in nothing.
それは無駄に終わった。
It has resulted in nothing. The plan resulted in success.
その計画は結果として成功した。
The plan resulted in success. Those resulted in the current successes.
それらが現在の成功につながった。
Those resulted in the current successes. It resulted in a waste of time.
結局時間の浪費に終わった。
It resulted in a waste of time. The rivalry resulted in a war.
競争の結果戦争になった。
The rivalry resulted in a war. His attempt resulted in failure.
彼の試みは失敗に終わった。
His attempt resulted in failure. Her carelessness resulted in an accident.
彼女の不注意から事故が起きた。
Her carelessness resulted in an accident. His business resulted in heavy losses.
彼の商売は大損失に終わった。
His business resulted in heavy losses. The experiments over some months resulted in nothing.
数ヶ月に及ぶ実験は無駄になった。
The experiments over some months resulted in nothing. The trial resulted in his being acquitted.
裁判は彼の無罪ということで終わった。
The trial resulted in his being acquitted. His careless speech resulted in much argument.
彼の軽率な発言は多くの議論を呼んだ。
His careless speech resulted in much argument. Her excuse resulted in nothing.
彼女の言い訳は全く意味をなさない。
Her excuse resulted in nothing. His idleness resulted in the failure, and with reason.
彼の怠惰が失敗という結果になったのも無理はない。
His idleness resulted in the failure, and with reason. His persistent efforts resulted in failure.
彼の懸命の努力は失敗に終わった。
His persistent efforts resulted in failure. The typhoon resulted in a lot of flooding.
その台風で大変な洪水になった。
The typhoon resulted in a lot of flooding. This policy resulted in a great rise in prices.
その政策の結果物価は大幅に値上がりした。
This policy resulted in a great rise in prices. The experiment resulted in a miserable failure.
その実験は惨めな失敗に終わった。
The experiment resulted in a miserable failure.